Hello, Nomads, and welcome to the first ever episode of Eric's Anime Corner. My name is Eric Hunt, and I will be your host. And I don't have my other Nomads with me. This is kind of my own little experiment that I wanted to try out. And this is kind of my first attempt at doing a video version of the podcast. Something, that we can throw up on YouTube and, get to know us a little bit better through video. So if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, thank you so much for watching. There is also a regular podcast version of this show as well. That's going to be going up on the normal podcast feed, which you can find on any of your favorite podcast platforms. Just search the Nomads of Fantasy and you are sure to find us. Like I said, there is a video component to this show, but I don't want to do too many visual elements, just to, so I don't isolate any of the audio only listeners. But if you are watching the video version, you can, get a little bit of an extra treat, which by my shirt, if you can see it on the video version, you will see that our first episode is talking all about Dragon Ball. Just to give you a little bit of a idea of what the format of the show is going to be, I kind of want to talk about three main points. What is it? Why do I like it? And who is it for? So I'm really kind of doing this as an excuse for myself to, talk about anime a little bit more because I love it. And I would probably call myself the biggest anime fan on the podcast. We have done other anime episodes. We've done My Hero Academia Season 1, which I introduced the guys to, and that was a really fun one. We have done Akira. We have done Castlevania on Netflix Seasons 1 and 2, which is sort of anime adjacent. And we've done Star Wars Visions, the entire series. So if you wanted to listen to those, I am going to link those episodes in the video version in the description, so you can definitely look for those. And if you're listening to the audio only podcast version, I am going to link the video version in that description as well, so you can easily find it. My plan here is to release these monthly. I'm shooting for the first Monday of each month. I thought that would be a kind of a good cadence, so that I get something a little different at the beginning of the month, and hopefully it's a nice little treat when it comes out. I really want to keep these short, kind of like a little 15-minute bite-sized chunks of just me talking about some anime that I love. So let's get right into it. Let's get down to it. So, like I said, the first component of the show is to explain what is it. So what is Dragon Ball? Dragon Ball was created by Akira Toriyama in 1984, and the Dragon Ball anime released shortly after. And after that, he released the Dragon Ball Z manga in 1988, and the Dragon Ball Z anime released in Japan 1 year later in 1989. We actually didn't get to, the United States didn't get to see Dragon Ball Z until 1996, after the entirety of the series aired in Japan, which was really interesting. And I'm such a huge fan of Dragon Ball Z, and it's really funny because the majority of Dragon Ball content came out before I was even born. I was born in 1994, so I came to it a little bit later when I was, I want to say like 7 or 8. But ever since then, it's kind of been like two of the franchises for me. It's been Star Wars and it's been Dragon Ball Z. Like, those were the two things that, if I got anything related to that, video games, toys, all that stuff, I would be the happiest kid alive. So I'm, I just wanted to share my love and passion for it. A little bit more background on it. I mean, the Dragon Ball franchise is one of the highest grossing media franchises in the world. It's popular. I assume if you're listening to this, you know what Dragon Ball is, or you've at least heard of it. Maybe you don't have much experience with it, and maybe that's why you're watching this or listening to it. And I hope that's the case, and I can inform you a little bit and convince you to watch it. it's like I said, it's one of the highest grossing franchises. It is actually the ranked 15th highest grossing media franchise in the world, which I thought was really awesome. Pokemon still number one, and by a long shot too. It's pretty insane. Maybe we'll do an episode on that in the future on Eric's Anime Corner. Keep going with what it is. This, as far as the story goes, this is a story that follows a man. Well, at the beginning, he's a boy named Goku, and he is from an alien race called the Saiyans, and they hail from the planet Vegeta. Which, I mean, the Saiyans are a ruthless warrior race, which, they go around and take over planets and basically destroy them. Like, that's their only mission, is just to become the most powerful race in the galaxy. And then, so planet Vegeta is attacked by Frieza and is destroyed. But before it's destroyed, Goku's father, Bardock, sends Goku in a spaceship and charts a course to Earth because he knows that Earth is a peaceful planet. So he knows that Goku will be safe there. The interesting thing about it is that like I said, the Saiyans are a ruthless warrior race, and they're violent, they're vicious, but it's just by nature, not even from any training or anything like that. It's just in their nature. They're just a violent alien race. But the thing about Goku is when he does land on Earth, he falls out of his spaceship and he falls off a cliff and it knocks his head on a rock. And that completely erases his memory, completely like changes his brain chemistry or whatever. And this all happens when he's like a baby, like super, super tiny baby. So any other normal baby would have died from a fall like that. And then this old man Gohan finds Goku and kind of takes him in as his grandson and raises him and all that stuff. And Goku turns out to be a really, really nice person, which is completely opposite of the Saiyan race. And he's always, he's helping people. He's constantly, once we get into Dragon Ball Z, he's constantly saving the world from these universal threats. So all that stuff. So that is kind of the backstory of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. And, there's other series as well. There's Dragon Ball GT, which that wasn't created by the original creator, Akira Toriyama. And there's, it's pretty divisive on, people's love or hate for that series. Personally, I like it. I haven't watched it since I was a kid. I kind of want to watch the entire series again just to revisit it and see what it's about. There's also Dragon Ball Super, which in the timeline, it goes Dragon Ball is first, then Dragon Ball Z. We see Goku as a kid in Dragon Ball, Goku as an adult in Dragon Ball Z, and then in the timeline, there's Dragon Ball Super as well, which takes place right after Dragon Ball Z, and then I think it's maybe like 10, 15 years after that would be Dragon Ball GT. So that's kind of the general timeline on that. Let's get into the next section, which is why. Why do I love it? Why is this such an important thing in my life? How did I get introduced to it? I kind of got into that a little bit already. Like I said, I was introduced to it at a very young age, around 7 or 8. That's like the perfect age to be introduced to this kind of thing, because there's bombastic action, fights, fireballs going off, all that type of stuff. And my stepbrothers introduced it to me. Before I met them, I didn't really know anything about Dragon Ball Z. And I'm just so glad that they introduced it to me, because it's been such a big part of my life. We had so many Dragon Ball Z VHS tapes that we watched over and over again, especially like when Gohan goes Super Saiyan 2, and the Cell fight, and then History of Trunks also is probably one of my favorite Dragon Ball movies. So that was really, really awesome. And it was really my introduction to anime as a child. At that point, I didn't really understand what anime was necessarily. I knew it was like a Japanese cartoon, it was made in Japan. And growing up, I always thought that anime was kind of weird and that it was supposed to be lame and, only weird people watch anime. But, Dragon Ball Z is different. It's not the typical anime. That's what I kept telling myself. Because I didn't, I was in denial that I actually really liked anime. And it wasn't until semi recently that I got back, really into anime. And that was kind of started with My Hero Academia, which I definitely want to do an episode on that. That will probably be next month. And I should mention as well, it might not always be just me. I would love to bring in some guests who are also, who would also love to talk about an anime that they love, and who are passionate about it. So you can look forward to that in the future. I'm just, like I said, I'm experimenting with this show. I don't exactly know what it's going to be, what it's, who's going to watch it, all that stuff. So this show could evolve in the future. So, a lot of stuff may change. So just keep an eye out for that. And as always, I'm open to suggestions. But anyways, let's get back into it. I feel like I kind of covered the why. Do I like it so far? Like I said, introduction to anime. And it just holds a really, really special place in my heart. Especially Dragon Ball Z, because that's the first series that I kind of latched onto. And we would watch Dragon Ball, and because it would back to back on Toonami when I was a kid on Cartoon Network, they would have Dragon Ball and then Dragon Ball Z. And every day after school, we'd come home and watch both of those, and it was just, the best. So kind of wrapping up here, I will go into the third section, which is who? Who is it for? Why, if you've never heard of Dragon Ball, or you have heard of it but you haven't watched it, or you have watched it and you love it or you didn't like it, any of those, if you fall under any of those categories, I just, I kind of wanted to give a shout out to who is it for? Why should you care about it? So anyone who, I have to assume anyone who has watched shonen style anime before has seen Dragon Ball Z, because it's, it's one of the best of that style, with that, bombastic action and, huge fights and, world breaking consequences and all this stuff. So anything like that. And as I was explaining the story of Dragon Ball as well, it's very apparent if you are superhero fans that this story is very, very similar to a popular superhero, one called Superman. I mean, Superman, he hails from the planet Krypton, which are kind of a similar race to the Saiyans. Clark comes to Earth, and he is a good guy, and he's protecting Earth and all that stuff. So there's a lot of similarities there, between Superman and Goku. So I think, any Superman fan, if you like Superman, I think you will like Dragon Ball. I put this one on the list because we just did our Matrix episode recently, which I can also link in the video description as well. But I would say if you like the Matrix Revolutions, especially the last fight with Neo and Agent Smith, because that right there is just a straight up Dragon Ball fight. Like, there's no other way around it. They're flying around, they're knocking each other into buildings, they're throwing each other around. The only thing it didn't have was fireballs going off, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did do that. So definitely, if you like that fight, that's a straight up anime ass fight, so check that out. I did want to go back to the why section a little bit. I feel like I missed something of why I like Dragon Ball Z so much, especially. It's the characters too. Like, every character has a different personality, and there is so much character growth throughout the series, even for, a quote unquote cartoon, anime, whatever. There is incredible character growth throughout the entire series. Piccolo starts out as an evil. It's kind of the same for all the characters in their growth. I mean, not all of them, but Piccolo goes from being this evil demon king to being Goku's best friend, essentially. Vegeta is another Saiyan. He comes to Earth, and, they're looking to basically destroy Earth and basically bring Kakarot home and, convert him back to a Saiyan that, is a ruthless, bloodthirsty fighting machine. But after Goku and Vegeta fight initially, Vegeta has a change of heart, and he becomes rivals with Goku. And throughout the entire series, he has incredible character growth, which Vegeta is my favorite character, so I had to get Vegeta in there. And yeah, I also, like I said, I have tons of like Dragon Ball Z stuff. I'm wearing the shirt. I got video games. I got DVDs, which you can see in the background if you're watching the video version. I got Funko Pops. I have a nice ass Goku statue right here. So this is your incentive right here. If you're just listening to the podcast version, check out the video version where I show off all this cool stuff. Yeah. Anyways, I think that's kind of it for the first episode. Like I said, I'm still trying to get my footing, figure out what this show is gonna be. I just kind of want it to be fun, and allow myself to gush about some anime that I really love. So yeah, that's really about it. And again, this is my first piece of video content. So if you see my eyes looking at, not at the camera, it's because I'm looking at the preview of myself, but I got to focus more on the camera so it looks like I'm looking at you. Like I said, this is a work in progress. Things will change, things will come, things will go. There could be guests on here. We could see regular Nomads on here. We could see guests we've seen on the podcast before on here. So just keep an eye out. And like I said, please, please, please leave comments if you're watching the video version on things that I can improve on, things that you'd like to see, all that type of stuff. So really anything that's on your mind. I will plug some other stuff that we have going on right now with the Nomads of Fantasy. We just released the first episode of our quick reviews on the Book of Boba Fett, Chapter 1. That was a really fun conversation. Those are going to go up weekly as the Book of Boba Fett series is releasing. So the day after release day, which is Wednesday, Thursday, you can expect to see the new episode of the quick review on Book of Boba Fett. Quick reviews are kind of a little term that we're using to talk about things that are not going to be full episodes of the main show. Just things that we want to talk about. There might be one coming up on The Matrix Resurrections because we all watched it and we all have tons of thoughts on that movie. So keep an eye out for that. Like I said, subscribe on your podcast platform of choice. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. You can find us at the Nomads of Fantasy on Twitter and Instagram. Also, please visit our website, thenomadsoffantasy.com, and check out everything there. That has all the relevant social links, YouTube's, Facebook's, podcast links, all that good stuff. And you can listen to the podcast right on the website. We built a fancy website so to make it easy for you. But yeah, I think that's about it for this first episode. I really had a fun time talking about Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball as a whole. So I will see you next time on I can't even get the name of the show right, on Eric's Anime Corner. And as always, safe travels, Nomads.